Alert, alert, this is Charlotte Shotgun.
It's Joel Tatum, and it's that Little Gay Talk Show.
All the way from Houston, Texas.
Let's get into it, girl. Whoops. Sorry about that.
It's on replay.
I must have put it on the loop by accident. Usually I just let it play, and then it'll stop, and then we can get right into it. But no, it kind of because I was doing some adjustments on the computer for the podcast music earlier, because I wanted to make sure that I pushed the right button. You know how I always push the wrong button. Last time we got applause. The other time we got some violins playing. It was music. Yes, it was a little bit of a spooky music in June.
We just sat there.
We just sat there and went, okay, which button is it? We had to start all over again. It was fun. It was fun, and I think we had cocktails that day. So
it happens.
So it was fun. Welcome to another episode of that Little Gay Talk Show. It's the after Thanksgiving episode, because we didn't really do a Thanksgiving episode. We were going to, but somebody got here super late from work.
They made me stay late.
And by the time I got done with cooking and everything else, I was too tired. I was like,
everything. Yeah, you were basically done when I got here.
I was pretty much done. I had been prepping all day. Actually, I didn't start cooking because I knew that he wasn't going to be here till about 9:30. So I didn't actually start. I started prepping everything early because there were some things that I had to get in the oven, and like the dressing, I had to make the cornbread like the day ahead of time because I needed to be really dry by the time you make it into a stuffing.
Yeah.
So I needed to do that, and then I needed to chop all the vegetables and stuff for potato salad, for the dressing, and all that other stuff. So that stuff had to be chopped. And it was the first time I broke out my food processor, which was neat because I hadn't used it. I bought it over the summer, and I use the blender part all the time. I make my smoothies and, this and that, make some milkshakes, that kind of thing. And I had to break out the instruction booklet, and I was confused by the instructions. So it took me 2 hours to figure out.
Oh my God, 2 hours.
It took me 2 hours to figure out how to put everything together. And once I got it all together, because what had happened was I put both blades in, thinking it's supposed to have both blades in. It's not supposed. It's one blade at a time. It's a one blade at a time. And then I couldn't get the thing on the blender to connect and all this other. Oh, it was a mess. It was a mess. But once I finally did it,
you're a champ. You're a pro.
I took 3 whole onions and 3 stalks of celery, and they were done in 5 minutes. I'm like, I would have been chopping all goddamn day. If I'd have broke out the knife and the cutting board, I would have been chopping all day, and then I would have been giving up, honestly, because when you chop onions,
it's annoying.
It's annoying because my eyes are burning, and I had to run. My allergies are bad. I have bad allergies. So when those onions hit, it's like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and take a break, and then I'll be back to it. And then 2 hours later, I'll find something else to do.
Yeah,
I'll play a video game I'm like, you know what? I'll wait. I'll just finish up this because I need to get past this level.
Yeah, right. That's
and then
me.
3 hours later, it's like, I forgot to do this and that. So
That's me watching TV.
So I cooked up a storm. It was good. And I was so glad, Charlotte, that you enjoyed it.
That was very good.
Yeah,
I had it the next day too.
Because by the time you got here, it was like 11 o'clock.
It's like at 10:30.
10:30. Yeah, so 35. That was the first. Almost, first time I ever had Thanksgiving that late at night on purpose. On purpose. Now I know we have a guest, and he's been smiling in the corner over here. So we're gonna bring him on, and then we're going to get in the next part of the show. We're going to get into everything all about Angelo and his photography and everything else. But right now, welcome to the show, Angelo. How you doing?
Well, hello.
And how was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was great. I spent it with family in Splendora, and it was really nice. 6 hours up there, and then I had to work the next day, and so I had to come back down and get back on the grind.
Did we? Was it a large gathering? Or?
So We had a couple of family members that weren't able to show up due to safety precautionary
Yes, of
measures.
course.
But it was a nice gathering, and there was maybe 10 people or so, and then it actually went pretty quick. It was like I got there around 12:30, 12:45, and then food was ready by about 1, and then by 2. I mean, everybody's already eaten, and everything was, just chilling on the couch.
See, I think that's how ethnic families eat. We eat by 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because that's the same thing at my parents' house.
Yeah.
She cooks everything the night before. The turkey goes in the oven at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my
And
God.
at 4, she'll be up and she'll have her bottle of whatever she's drinking at that moment, and she'll be in the kitchen getting everything dressed and ready and everything else. But
Like a
the
bottle of
last thing,
alcohol?
she'll just not a big bottle, maybe like a small pint or something.
Okay.
She'll make
I
some
don't
brandy,
judge.
brandy
I don't
with
judge.
eggnog, or she'll have a glass of wine or something like that. It just depends on her mood, and she'll be up till 3, 4 in the morning, and 4 o'clock on the dot. Every Thanksgiving, that turkey goes in the oven, 4 o'clock, and it's ready by a little bit before noon. So
Damn, it's like almost like a long time. It's like 8, 4.
well, you want to slow cook it.
Oh,
So
okay.
you want to yeah. She likes to slow cook it.
I was
'cause
like, how burnt is it?
Mhm.
Just kidding.
No. She likes to slow cook it. So
Okay, yeah,
it's
that
in the
makes
oven
sense.
for
like what, for like 250 degrees?
maybe I think it's 350.
Okay, yeah, that's
something like that. So she'll slow cook it all night, because she doesn't. I mean, you don't want to have turkey at 10 o'clock in the morning for breakfast.
Yeah,
So.
no, you're right.
And is it me, or you know what? I don't recall. And I saw this video and I thought it was the funniest thing. And I'd wondered this. I didn't think about this, but this is something that I did not notice. I can't recall ever on a Thanksgiving that we had breakfast before Thanksgiving.
I actually can't either.
I don't ever recall in my house that we ever got up in the morning and made breakfast.
My family does Thanksgiving like a late lunch, like almost dinner. But like everybody comes at like 2, then we eat later. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, that's still early because,
Yeah.
like I said,
Well, I mean, like I have breakfast on my own.
like I said, because the joke was the fact that the little kids would come in and ask Mama for some breakfast, and she's like, "Y'all gonna eat turkey later? Why would I make breakfast?" Because I noticed that when I go to a friend's house, they would have breakfast, but they didn't eat till 5, 6,
Yeah,
7
that's how
o'clock
my
in the
family
evening,
is.
and I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's how my family is.
I didn't understand that, because I'm like, why are we eating so late? I don't want to be.
It's like a dinner thing because what my family does afterwards, they drink and then everybody gets drunk. So like nobody wants to get drunk at like. I mean, I would, but nobody wants to get drunk at like 4.
Oh no!
Yeah, so that's how we have dinner. And
no,
then
see-
some of my aunts work in the morning. So they,
Yes, no, sweetie. That's why we have it. By the time 1, 2 o'clock rolls around, everybody's already eaten. Everybody's already started drinking, and they're all out doing whatever, playing dominoes in the yard, gossiping, whatever it is that they're doing, all day until at least 7 or 8, and then it's time for everybody to go. Because honestly, the host is like,
get out.
y'all been here long enough.
Yeah.
Get your leftovers and go. And usually about that time, that's when everybody gets out the paper plates in their Tupperware and everything else, and the aluminum foil is flying all over the place.
Right.
And everybody. So I just thought that was funny. I never thought about that until I saw this video online when they were talking about the fact that no one in an ethnic household has ever eaten breakfast on Thanksgiving that I know of. And
Now Christmas is different.
Christmas is a little different. Christmas, honestly, Thanksgiving is the big deal about the food.
Yeah.
So it's all day cooking and everything else. Christmas, not so much. It's not, I mean, you're going to be up, if you have kids, especially, you're going to be up early in the morning anyway, so you're going to have to eat something.
Correct. Even like Christmas Eve, it's like I know people are already like, you get there around maybe like trickle in around 2, 3, 4, and then some. Like I know with my family, we open presents at midnight, and
Yeah, that's what we
so
do too.
it's really fun to be able to spend all day with them for the most part, and then after the open presents, they go home, and then whoever stays over, you know, you wake up in the morning, and then you have breakfast, and then that's it.
When we were growing up, my parents tried the midnight thing of presents. And that was the first time. Now, we going back to ancient history because I'm that old. I am that old. Okay. In gay years, I'm about 110. So back in the day when we got our first Atari 2600, and we were super excited because it was the first video game system in our house ever. And my parents are like, okay, well, you can open your gifts at midnight, and then y'all go to bed afterwards. We were up until 6, 7 in the morning. And imagine 5 boys trying to share an Atari 2600. And it was fighting all night long. And my parents said, we will never do this again. You will never open your gifts at midnight because all y'all did was fight. We couldn't sleep. All y'all did was fight. We had to come in the living room several times to break up fights. No, you cannot. Never again. So we had to do it early in the morning from that point on.
Are you going to be oldest, youngest, middle child?
I'm the oldest.
Oldest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm the oldest. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So, as soon as midnight rolled around, I mean, we were raising. And my parents, God love them, they raised a bunch of kids. It was a lot of us. Now, my dad, kids from every marriage. So, you know, he was a player. He had kids in almost every marriage he ever had. So Christmas they didn't even bother with wrapping Christmas gifts anymore. They just threw them in big garbage bags and put name tags on it. And here you go. I don't think I would remember ever a Christmas gift that was wrapped in proper wrapping paper. Because, I mean, you are shopping for maybe 5 or 6 kids. And you know how much wrapping that is? That's a lot of wrapping. So I understood. We didn't have a problem with the fact that, you know, our wrapping paper was made by Hefty. So we did not have a problem with that. Sure. And always the same thing. Don't y'all tear those garbage bags up. We can use them again. Y'all better not tear them up. Do not. And I didn't buy batteries. Y'all have to buy your own batteries. I ain't got time to buy no batteries. So it was all, So Christmas morning, that was the one time we did that. I mean, Christmas is, you going to have breakfast. I mean, but Christmas breakfast, though, it was a big deal in my house because, you know, you got pancakes over here, you got waffles over there, you got bacon and eggs and all this other stuff. You got eggnog and all this other stuff because we had eggnog for breakfast. They had their eggnog and their eggnog was their eggnog. And we had ours. So, yes, Christmas breakfast was a big deal. But Christmas dinner, you know, it's a simple dinner. Right. And yeah, it's a simple dinner. I don't think we did turkey. I think we did like ham or pork loin or something like that. But we always did. We barbecued one Christmas because, I mean, Christmas in Houston can be warm sometimes. Yeah. So Dad brought out the barrel barbecue pit and put some wood in it and had a big barbecue, invited all the neighbors and had a big barbecue in the backyard. It was something else. They had a band back there one year for Christmas. I don't know how they got a band on Christmas Day, but they got a band. They had a property with a lot of acreage. So they were able to invite up to 100 people. Oh, wow. On Christmas Day. It was amazing. It was super amazing. So, yes. So Christmas was, and watching Grandma out there trying to dance and she'd have her bottle of gin and she's up there on stage trying to dance because they like Zydeco and all that other stuff because they're Louisiana people. Yeah. My stepmother, their family, they're Louisiana people. So they have Zydeco and all kinds of stuff going on out there. So watching Grandma get up there and dance and get down. She passed away quite some time ago. I miss that woman. She was a crazy, crazy ass woman. She is, I swear to God, she was the first drag queen I ever saw. I swear to God, funny. She was the first drag queen I ever saw because she loved her big Tina Turner wigs. She was a very well endowed woman in the breast area, in the breasticles area. I mean, she was max. I mean, they were out there. I mean, and she made sure everybody knew it. She made sure everybody knew her blouses were low cut, her jeans were tight, and her heels were 6 inches.
Amen.
Period.
And she worked. And she worked for HISD for many years in maintenance. And I'm like, how can you wear that? How do you wear that? She goes, well, I wear this when I'm walking down the street to the bus stop. And then when I get to work, I have my other shoes on. And then I don't have to really do that much work because all the men want to do all the work for me. So I just let them do the work. And that's that. So I'm wow. So she was the first drag queen I ever met.
Wow.
Because like I said, I mean, she and I never understood though, because she had very pretty hair. Very pretty, and it was kind of long, so I never understood why but she just loved her big wigs.
She wanted big hair.
She wanted big hair.
That closer to God.
Exactly. It is Texas after all.
Texas.
It is Texas, and she raised 9 children on her own, with a deadbeat husband,
And 6-inch heels.
and 6-inch heels, and she paid the mortgage on the house.
Period.
She made sure that everybody got fed. Made sure they had clothes on their back. Those 6-inch heels back in the day, they did what they were supposed to do.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So that's that, and that's. I mean, I miss her sometimes. She passed away at I think now 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And when I first came out, we used to go to her house. Me and my best friends would go to her house, and they loved going to see my grandmother because on Saturdays she had her robe on. And she had her hair up in a kerchief or a turban kind of thing. And she had her blues music playing on super loud. And she had her gin and tonic on the rocks. And that was her weekend. She didn't drink during the week, but she drank but as soon as the weekend hit, she went to the liquor store, bought her a giant bottle of gin, and that stuff would be gone by the weekend. So yes, so honestly, she was my first foray into seeing a drag queen. And when she used to be at work, I used to put her wigs on. I used to put her wigs on because it would just be me and my uncle in the house. And he spent most of the day masturbating or sleeping. He was like 18. Come on, he's 18, 19 years old. That's all we did. Okay. We either slept or we masturbated, one of the two. And so he'd be in his room all the time with the door closed, and I knew what he was doing in there. And so I just get bored and just look at her wig collection and just try on wigs.
Did she have a lot of them?
She had a lot of them. She had several. She had but most of them were her curly wigs, and then she had one straight wig for her. I mean, just bone straight for special occasions.
Which was your favorite?
Oh well, you know what?
All of them.
I loved them all because not only could I
Did you name
pretend to be in drag at this, but I could also because at the time, a lot of rock stars were rocking super long hair. So I could either be in a heavy metal band, or I could vogue across. Well, I didn't know much about vogue back then, but I could just do my little twirl and shake my hair back and forth and go, girl, hey girl, how you doing? What's going on, girl?
Talking to each of the wig heads.
talking to the wig, having a conversation. I'm 16 years old, having conversations with the wig head. Weird childhood. I know. I rarely touched myself, but I loved the wigs. My brothers and uncles were touching themselves all the time, and I could care less. I would rather have a wig on and just do my thing. So yes, so that was life.
Did she ever catch you?
She always knew that her wigs. She like Moira from Schitt's Creek.
Yeah,
I did not realize all her wigs had names.
Yeah,
I did not know that until years later because I always kept wondering who she was talking about. She's like, I have to go take. Oh, I have to go take Tina to get her hair done and blah 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 because she's getting a little this and that, and I'm like, who the hell who is she talking about? And my stepmother would look at me and go, don't ask. You don't want to know. Don't ask. And I didn't find out till years later when we were sitting around having cocktails that she named all her wigs. And she told me, she goes, I know you were fooling with my wigs. I didn't say, I couldn't prove it back then, but I knew you were fooling with my wig. I know when my wigs are out of place.
Tina spoke. She spoke to her.
So this was like years later, and I was already out of the house, and we were just visiting every holiday, and she would always, I know you were messing with my wigs. I'm like, I just went in there and messed with your wig 5 minutes ago. So there we go. I was just seeing which new wig you bought on QVC. So
QVC.
So yeah, because she was in her later years, she was addicted to QVC. Every time I walked around the house, there was something new in that house. Every time she had the house when enough of the kids were out of the house, she still had to take care of one daughter who had schizophrenia and a son who just would not leave the house. I mean, he just.
How many kids? Oh, you said she had 9 kids?
I think 9. Mm-hmm. She had one son that just would not leave the house. I mean, just would not leave the house. I'm like, you are 29 years old. You still in this? Why are you still in your mama's house? And he's like, why would I leave? She takes care of me. I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know what to say. If she's taking care of you. She bitched at him all the time, but honestly, she made sure they were taken care of. So. Yeah.
A mother's love is something else.
Yeah, exactly. I know. So, and like I said, she raised all of them. She raised them and still paid the mortgage and worked and everything else. So I know it was hard being a single mother. Mm-hmm. And she made sure she was smart. She made sure she stayed married to her husband so she can collect his benefits when he got older or he died, because she couldn't wait for him to die. He was that terrible. But yeah, she was smart enough to stay married to him long enough to collect his benefits. And she had many boyfriends. Her funeral, there were so many boyfriends at the funeral. I'm like, who are all these men? Well, she had a lot of admirers. Even the minister admitted she had a lot of admirers.
That's the drag queen. That's the drag queen for you.
So that was my first. When I sit here and I look at Charlotte, and I've now been immersed in the drag world and everything else. I'm like, my first drag queen was my grandmother, and I think that's just it's hilarious when I think about it now. But I didn't put that much thought into it back then. But she was my first foray into what drag would look like later on. Because I'm sure I've seen drag queens who look just like her.
Yeah.
So, so we've been having a little fun with that. So, I'm sorry, I've been monopolizing the whole conversation. Charlotte, you gonna say something over there, girl?
I'm just watching you talk about your grandma. I want to see a picture of her.
I'd have to go to dig around on Facebook or something. I think they have a Leslie B. Howard page. I'd have to go digging through that. Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? Don't let me forget. We got to get some pictures, because I'm trying to put some pictures up.
Okay.
On Instagram. So we need to make sure we get Angelo in the picture, because y'all should see him. He's just a cutie. He's just a cutie with this deep, rich voice. And yeah, if he are you single, Angelo?
I am. I actually have never been in a relationship. Actually.
What?
Yes.
Okay, listeners.
Exclusive.
Okay, listeners. All right. Mm-hmm. You got a newbie on your hands. Y'all better jump on that. Yeah, somebody's gonna ruin you someday, girl.
Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Somebody's gonna. Yeah, go ahead and get it over with now. Get it over with as quickly as you possibly. Somebody's gonna ruin you, girl.
Date someone shitty, and then you'll learn from there.
Yeah. Oh Lord, please don't try to date anybody. No, don't do that. I don't want to wish that upon my worst enemy. You want to find somebody nice. How old are you, Angelo?
I just turned 23 last
23.
month.
Oh, you know what? No, you just a baby over there. Oh my Lord. What am I doing flirt with? I'm old enough to be your grandfather. No.
I didn't know you were 23. I thought you were like my age.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were at least 26. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't feel so uncomfortable. Now I feel uncomfortable, but
no.
But you know what? Most of the men my age are dating 23-year-olds anyway. So
that part.
Don't worry, Angelo. I like my men a little bit on the older side, but you are still adorable, though.
Thank you.
You are adorable. I just want you to sit on my lap and I give you some presents for Christmas. Oh Lord, I've only had. By the way, I've only had one and a half glasses of wine,
right.
So I'm not even in that territory yet. Trust me. Charlotte has seen me in that territory.
I called you yesterday, and you're in that territory.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, because let me tell you a little what's going on right now. We having some issues with TWC, and we still having issues with them. They were supposed to have my money in my account, but they still haven't done it, and the bills are coming, and so I'm getting a little worried. Yeah. So I had to call my best friend. This is why you young people, y'all need to make sure your friendships, y'all need to hold on to those. I mean, because you're gonna need them sooner or later. And trust me, I had to call my best friend and tell him, look, I need you to bring over a big bottle of wine. I need you, because I'm going to cry. I'm going to get angry. I'm going to have a meltdown, because I needed to have a meltdown. Mm-hmm. So I could, because I'd gone to the doctor and I had issues at the doctor. I'm in good health, but I still had issues at the doctor and everything else. And it just been a terrible, terrible, terrible day. And so I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm having a meltdown. I don't give a shit. Just sit here with me and have the meltdown with me. Listen to me cry, go on about shit and everything else, and we're going to be just fine. Mm-hmm. And so that's exactly what I need. That's exactly what he did. Mm-hmm. He just let me have it. So, girl, I don't even remember you calling. That's how drunk I got. I do not even. If you called, I don't even know. I don't even know what I said. You called,
I'm like, are you ready for tomorrow? You're like, yes, goodbye. Then are you okay? You're like, I'm drunk, goodbye. I'm like, okay.
Well, that said it all. Sometimes I can be direct. All right, so we're gonna take a little bit of a break here. Like I said, I just been on a tear. I've been talking, Angelo. We gonna get to you. Don't worry, because we're gonna get to you. And he's here and he's ready, y'all. He's single and he's 23.
Period.
He's single and 23, y'all. Y'all need to tear that up.
Tear it up.
Just tear it. Well, I mean, in the love sense.
Just a little rip.
Just a little rip.
Just a little rip.
Just a little rip in the love part.
A little crease.
Not the other part. Y'all need to be gentle with him. Y'all, but he does have that voice. He might surprise y'all. He does have that timbre in that voice. He's gonna surprise a few people. He's gonna surprise a few people. So we're gonna take a little bit of a break, and we're gonna be right back. And we are back. We had to take a little break, pour another glass of wine, blow our noses, that kind of thing.
Out,
whip out our big ones and do what we needed to do. Mm-hmm. I'm looking over there at you, Angelo.
It's just a little tinkle.
Never call it a little tinkle. We're on gay radio.
Tinkle,
yes, never call it a little tinkle. You call it a big tinkle.
Big tinkle.
Yes, exactly. Remember, it's about promoting yourself.
You did say that.
Marry that.
All right. Our show is our show is, of course, sponsored by Tuvi's Woodworking.
He gives you wood.
He gives you wood. So good. And if y'all go to our Instagram page, you can see an example of the work he did. Because
the wood that he gave you.
The wood that he gave me, because it's beautiful. It's even got our logo engraved right into the wood. So if you ever need a cutting board, and if you want something that's specially designed for you, you just go to www.tuviswood.com, and he will make whatever cutting board you need. He will give you any kind of wood that you want. Any design that you want, that kind of, and he makes other stuff too, as far as I know. I know that he makes I know he works a lot with wood.
Yeah.
And being as sexy as he is, everybody loves his wood. So there we go. So you've been promoted, Tuval. You've been promoted. Okay. So back to the show. Because I got, honestly, we have limited time, because I got to get Miss Charlotte back to work here soon, because she goes into work at 8:00, and we don't want. You know how we can be, girl. We can
stay here for hours.
We can be doing this for we have been known to be
3 hours later.
3 hours into it. A lot of talking beforehand, a lot of rehearsal, and then we have to go into the show, and then
sometimes we go to the liquor store in the middle.
And then sometimes we go to the liquor store in the middle of the show, and Sometimes we order pizza in.
That sounds good. So I'm all down for a thin crust pepperoni. That's just my go-to.
I know. I unfortunately have to watch my sodium intake for just a little while we get my blood pressure back under control, because my blood pressure was a little out of control, but it's slowly coming back under control. And I can't wait. I'm gonna have my Whopper with cheese. I've been craving a Whopper with cheese for weeks. Or if I can't get that, my backup is a double quarter pounder with cheese.
Okay.
That's the only thing I will eat at McDonald's. Don't get me wrong, I love their fries. I love their fries.
Nuggets,
Nuggets and fries.
I love their fries. I can eat their fries all day, but
I'm not a big fan. I feel like it all tastes like the same. It's like the oil. Everything tastes the same.
No, I know. Out of all the restaurants that I've eaten at, out of all the burger places that I've eaten at with fries, I think McDonald's makes the best fries.
Yeah, they do. Because even the smell of it is just super good.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Jack in the Box makes the worst. I'm like, ugh.
I don't even go to Jack in the Box. I went there one time and I paid for like me and my old partner like $30 worth of food. I'm just like, what the fuck? And it wasn't even that good.
I go to Jack in the Box only if I've been around my friends and we smoked a lot of weed. That's the only time that I go to
tacos there.
Oh, their tacos, they're greasy as shit, but they're amazing. I don't understand what they put in their tacos that make me want to eat their tacos, but I will
have to check out their tacos.
Their tacos are greasy and nasty as shit, but they are delicious.
That's what I've heard.
They are delicious. And Burger King tried to make tacos. No, they're
I did try them one time. They were terrible.
They're terrible. I'm like, how can you fuck? Even Jack in the Box makes terrible tacos and they taste delicious. How can you fuck up a taco? It's not that hard. You have all the ingredients to make a taco already, so it shouldn't be that hard to make a taco. It really should not, but Burger King figured it out. So, exactly.
I mean, Burger King was just like deep frying taquitos. I feel like that's all it was.
Well, doesn't Taco Bell do the same thing?
Oh, well, I was going to ask, what do you prefer, Taco Bell tacos or Jack in the Box tacos?
Oh, I'm going to say Jack in the Box.
I never had Jack in the Box tacos.
I'm going to say...
Look, are they like full tacos? Like Taco Bell tacos?
They're so thin. They're so like thin, crispy, just oily.
And oily.
And there's a little bit of lettuce and a little bit of like meat sauce.
It might be a little... You might... Every now and then, you might taste a tomato in there. Every now and then. You don't really... But it's mostly lettuce. And it's greasy as hell, but it's delicious for some reason. And I don't know if it's because I was super high at the time. Because when you smoke a lot of weed, everything tastes delicious.
Yeah, it does.
Everything tastes delicious.
I start eating like chips and stuff. I'm not a big fan of chips when I smoke weed. I'm like, these are so good. Or even Oreos. I don't even like Oreos, and then I start eating those. I'm like, what is this? I should eat these more. And then
I feel like I smoke weed just to make food taste better.
Sometimes I come up with like new ingredients. This one time I got really like stoned and I made chicken nuggets in the oven and then I put cheese on them and they came out crispy. Amazing.
Let me tell you something. For any of you out there who smokes weed and likes to cook, get yourself an air fryer.
Oh my God, yes.
I made chicken tenders in an air fryer. They were the crispiest shit I ever had.
I made popcorn shrimp the other day. They were so good. Your face is
I
so good.
know. Right. Here we are talking about food. But let me tell you something. The air fryer, I made, like I said, now I didn't buy the ones that were already breaded. I made my own.
Oh, wow.
I breaded my own. Better. And stuck them in the air fryer, and they were the crispiest shit I ever had. I'm like,
did
God.
you like soak them in? Did you put like
No, I didn't. Everybody always talks about soaking them in buttermilk.
Not buttermilk. I meant like oil spray because you can spray like coconut spray or something.
No,
on it
I
just use just
canola spray on top.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what
I just used a little bit of a canola spray, and that was it.
Yeah, it really helps.
And it just really the crispiest chicken fingers I ever had. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make chicken fingers from scratch. From now,
you can even make them and freeze them. I made like jalapeno poppers, and I have some in my freezer.
So it's like, you know what? I enjoy cooking now more than I ever did.
You learned how to cook in the
quarantine. Exactly. Well, during quarantine, that's all I had to do was learn how to cook because I couldn't go.
I made cookies the other day, and I make all these random shits, and I'm just like, what is my life?
She's a chef.
Right?
You know what?
Certified chef.
I think we all need to get together and get a food truck going.
Oh, not a food truck. I'll make tacos.
So Charlotte's bringing the you said fried shrimp, and then you're bringing the.
I'm bringing in the crispy chicken tenders.
Okay, and then I don't know how to bake pizza, but I'm gonna find some way to make a thin crust pepperoni pizza, and that's all.
Let me tell you something, Angelo. Everything I learned about cooking, YouTube. Everything that I learned about cooking, I went to YouTube. My favorite thing to watch, Aunt Fee. This motherfucking bitch curses up a storm every time she makes some. Auntie Fee on YouTube. And she curses up a motherfucker. And I say motherfucker because that's her favorite word. Uh-huh. And she curses up a motherfucking storm every time she makes it. And she curses out the camera guy, which is her, I think her son, her nephew. Yes.
They made like ramen the other day.
Yes. They made
like feed like 7 people.
Yes. You know what? I made that. It was delicious. I thought it was going to be terrible. Because I'm like, that doesn't even sound right. And I'm like, you know what? I got the ingredients. I'm going to make a smaller portion and see what it's like. It was fucking delicious. I mean, it was delicious. I'm like, I'm amazed. I mean, she could throw shit together. And it just, she was the one who taught me how to make potato salad, y'all.
Is that the one that you gave me?
Yes.
That was good.
Mm-hmm. She was the one who taught me how to make potato. And she said it best. Stop putting all this motherfucking shit in potato salad. You just need a few simple ingredients, and that's it. All these chunky ass potato salad. People making chunky ass potato salad, which I hate. If you ever had potato salad and it's in chunks, and every time you bite into it, it's like so hard, it's ridiculous, and you're like, how is this potato salad?
Like, do you like smaller potato salad or what?
No, I like potato salad that's like close to a mashed potato,
right?
Oh yes,
but not, but still has a little bit of a chunk to it.
Okay,
yeah, kind of melts in your mouth, kind of thing. But it still has a little bit of chunkiness to it. That's not over. You're not chewing on it for 5 minutes,
right?
Yeah, I don't
going, what the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck is this?
I even told you I like your potato salad. It's like the best I've ever had.
That's Auntie.
It doesn't taste like potato salad.
That's Auntie Fee's potato salad, because I'm telling you right now that bitch knows how to make potato. And she said it best. Just keep the ingredients simple. Stop putting all this ridiculous shit in potato salad.
Like little microblade.
Yeah, exactly.
Celery in there.
Okay, see, that's the thing. I don't like celery in potato salad.
I don't like crunch. I don't like raw crunch in my potato salad, if that makes sense. Like, I don't like onions. I don't like celery. I like them by themselves, but like I think it just adds too much texture to the, you know what I mean? That's why I don't care for potato. That's why I was like, I like your potato salad. It's fucking good.
I like a heavy mustard in the potato salad, and then also heavy relish. That's
I'm not a big relish person. I can eat a potato salad with relish. I think it's actually kind of good. I can eat it. I can eat a potato, but I'm not a big fan of relish on its own. I'm just not a big fan.
Is there a difference between like chopped up pickles and relish, or is that's the same thing? Right?
I think relish is sweeter though.
Yeah. Okay, no,
relish is sweet.
No, yeah, I can't do sweet relish. I can do like chopped up pickles in a potato salad. That's where I love that.
No, not for me. Not for me. No, not for me. I mean, I barely can handle the relish. So just regular chopped up pickles. Now, I grew up where girls were eating pickles in all kinds of strange and weird ways. They would put peppermint in the middle.
In the pickles?
In pickles, yes. They would put peppermint in the middle of a pickle, and then they would eat the...
Like peppermint? What is the...
My favorite was... And
like
I didn't know what this
peppermint,
was.
Or
yes, like they would take a peppermint stick. No, a peppermint stick. Like the candy cane peppermint, the stick part. And stick it right in the middle of
I was just thinking them like hollowing a pickle and sticking, I don't know, when you said peppermint, I thought pepperoni.
And the little convenience stores used to have the big pickles in the jar that you could buy individually. Yeah. And the girls would take them, and they would take the peppermint stick and put it right in the middle, and they would eat the whole pickle with the peppermint stick in it.
Girl, wow.
That is so funny. I had a coworker who told me, we were talking about how we eat pickles, and I've told them sometimes like I'll stick like a hot Cheeto in a pickle, but she told me to try that, and I was like, I've never heard that before. And she's a little bit older, and I was like, that blew my mind. I was like,
the fuck is wrong with you? That actually sounds kind of good though.
But the girls, when in middle school,
I
they
just imagine
loved.
teeth breaking though.
They loved, and it was always middle school girls. It was never high school. The girls in middle school. Those are the ones who would put the peppermint in the middle of the pickle.
Have you seen that video of that girl that's eating the hot pickle? Have you seen it?
What's going on?
This girl on YouTube, she eats like a hot pickle. I mean, a hot pickle, like a hot, spicy pickle. Mm-hmm. And she's just like making all these like sound effects, and it's so fucking funny.
I think it was on Twitter. Yeah,
she's like, mm-hmm. It's like making dinosaur sounds.
Oh my god!
I
think that's a thing now, isn't it?
Yeah, people it's like ASMR. I don't think it was intentionally.
Is it ASMR? I thought it was more of a sexual thing.
Oh no! I think she was just eating a hot pickle, but
because I know that there are videos where people like to watch other people eating, and it's kind of a sexual thing. It's mostly in Korea.
It's an ASMR.
Yeah.
What is it called? Mukbang.
Mukbang. I've seen those videos, and I'm like, I don't understand why.
So I occasionally watch on YouTube. There is I think she's Korean, and she cooks her own like seafood meals. It's like humongous seafood meals, and it's kind of like an ASMR like video. And you see her cook, different kind of like huge lobsters or crabs or scallops and whatnot. And she has a microphone right above it, and it's like a sensory experience. And I think it's not necessarily sexual, but I know she has a lot of subscribers, and she does very well for herself. So and it's just to me, I'm not sure if it's just the sensory experience or she has really good personality, but it's really entertaining to watch.
I always found it.
I think it's because it's just like it's over the top. Like sometimes I watch mukbangs, I'm like, bitch, I could fucking do that.
Yeah, but then you do it, and then you get like 3 views, and you're wondering how the fuck are they getting like millions of views?
I think it's what they do
from doing something as simple and basic as preparing a meal, and you get 5 million views, and I'm like, how is that happening? I accidentally did a video. By the way, we need to talk about that because we need to do a Patreon video for our Patreon page because I'm setting up a Patreon page for the show because we need to get paid.
Period.
We need to get paid. I mean, I invested thousands of dollars into the show. I need to get my money back. And I'd like to be able to like invest more into other forms of stuff that I would like for us to do. But because of financial difficulties, I haven't been able to do so. And being able to talk to a lot of creative people that we've had on the show and see how they've been making it through the pandemic without working and everything and not having a steady income. And especially when you don't have an income that's
reliable.
That's reliable, that could be taxable, that could be money that you could be getting from TWC or unemployment or what have you. So, I enjoy talking to people and trying to figure out how they've been more creative, especially over the summer when we were in super lockdown. And before I met Charlotte, trust me, Charlotte, I thought I was going to have to put this show on hiatus because I had other co-hosts on the show before. And after the holidays, we all parted ways. We all went our separate ways. And, everybody had to do their thing, and I understood. But that left me alone to do the show. So I had to figure out how to do. And there were a couple of episodes that I'm not very proud of. But
if you don't mind me asking, how did y'all meet? Because I am so new to this podcast. I would love to know, how did y'all meet?
Well, we met on Growler.
Oh.
If I remember correctly, we met on Growler because I sent out a shout out.
Looking for someone to record a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. To interview on the podcast. And he and 3 other people responded. And him and another person were super serious about doing it. And then I never heard from the other person again. And then he was like, hey, I could come over and we could do this. And I could talk about my life in an RV and traveling across the country. And I'm like, oh my God, that's fascinating. Let's talk about that. So that's what happened. And then he came over and we started... he started talking and telling me the stories about him being on the road. There is an episode on that, by the way. Okay, there is an episode. I'm just gonna give a basic synopsis, but so he had traveled, and I think you got stranded here in Houston, or
no, I moved here. I got stranded in Albuquerque.
Yeah, so
I was like he
had broken up with his boyfriend in Albuquerque, and things kind of got. And then you got your own car and decided to drive away and. Houston was the stop that you made. Although I don't think I ever asked this question before.
No.
Why did you pick Houston of all places?
It was either going to be Houston, Santa Fe, LA, or DC. And I tried finding roommates and stuff, and the person that I thought that had the most like cheap rent and that was in the major city was Houston. And then I was like, okay, because I almost got an apartment in Santa Fe, but I just did not like it. It was too boring. Then I was like, I've never been to Houston. I know Blackberry, so I'm gonna try to come out here and see what I can. If I don't like it, I'll just go back to Florida. And I've been here since then.
So yes, and he's been, and then he started coming on the show a little bit more often. And I'm like, why don't you just be my co-host? I mean, for God's sakes, I feel like you have a future here, and there are things that you're going to want to do here. So. Yeah, so that's basically how it happened. So, and we clicked.
Joel see me grow up, basically, like having not knowing anyone here, and then now like hosting a show at Records and working the gay bars.
Exactly. I'm so proud of him when he got his first drag show.
I was like, hey, guess what?
Last month, and I was like, oh, it's about damn time, girls. I knew someone was going to recognize you sooner or later, and it's time for you to get to work and get started on doing what we had talked about on several shows about you wanting to build an entertainment thing here in Houston. So this is the big start right here. So I was so proud of him. So I'm like, oh, I'm watching my little baby grow up. Yeah. So and then Scott, several people, are y'all dating now? I'm like, no, we're not. No, we're not dating. We're just really good friends. And, it's nice to make, don't get me wrong, he's cute. But, I kind of want to date somebody closer to my age. I don't want him putting me in a nursing home in a few years. Good Lord. Where's your daddy at? Oh, he's at such and such nursing home. He'll be all right. I'm just going to go get some money from him, and then we're going to go out and go do some stuff. You ain't going to be doing me like that, bitch.
Just some tapioca on a Sunday.
Exactly.
Tapioca on Sunday.
Here's your gift. I'm out.
See you next year. See you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Don't forget my money now. Although everybody in the nursing home would be jealous. You got that young thing coming on over here? Yeah, I have to pay for it. But yeah, I got it. Ha, ha, ha. Look at that. So we've been having a good time, and we've been, and like I said, I feel like the show's getting better and better. And the audience is slow. It's coming. It's coming. So it's getting there. I just need to put a little bit more work into it, but it's getting there. And like I said, with each episode, like I said, I feel really good about the show. So thank you for asking, Angelo.
Of course.
Yeah, I feel like we're being interviewed by you now.
I know, right?
I just love hearing about people. I love learning. I think that's just like just so cool to me to just learn how people are doing their thing.
I swear to God, you really do have a voice for podcasting. You really, really do. You really, really do. Y'all, and you young people, y'all should see his smile. It's just something else. He's just got that smile. He's going to light up a room. And by the way, I'm sure the rest of the package is just as good. Oh, look, if y'all can see right now, he is turning red.
No complaints. I mean, there's been no complaints.
He's like, just keep on going. I'm okay with this. I'm okay. My self-esteem can take it. All right. So we're going to take one more break, and then we need to get into Angelo. Angelo is going to be, you know what? Before we take a break, let me throw this out here. I want to say congratulations to Elliot out there, and we know.
Yes, Elliot.
And y'all know who we're talking about. We're talking about Juno actress. I can't remember her.
Page,
yes. Ellen, who was Ellen Page, who is now Elliot Page. Congratulations on coming out as transgender and non-binary, and I think it's a brave thing for her to do so. She's still going to play Vanya.
Him.
Oh, I'm sorry. He is still going to play. Okay, I just learned about it yesterday. Give me some time. Rome wasn't built in a day, so give me some time. But I did call him Elliot.
Yeah, are they still going to play? Are they still going to play Vanya?
He's still going to play Vanya on Umbrella Academy. I think for season. What season are they on? 3 now.
3 now.
So season 4.
What? Sorry, no, they'll be on season 3.
So they'll be on season 3. Yeah. I watched the first season of Umbrella Academy, and I kind of liked it, but not enough to watch season 2.
I didn't think there was anything that happened until the very end.
Yeah.
Right. It was a little slow. Like, I think all the good episodes are towards the end. Like, once you have to get in, like, the 4th and 5th one to, like, okay, it's a little weird, a little different.
Yeah.
But once you get it, the season 2 is amazing.
Season 2 is really good, yeah. Very good.
So I'm going to have to watch season 2 now.
Yeah, season 2 is really good. It's
yeah,
full
I'll
of
watch,
action.
Because, like I said, season 1, I was like,
There's a lot of, I think they were just on a rough start.
And I enjoyed watching Mary J. Blige do her thing. I did. I enjoyed watching that. That was nice. I don't think she's one of the better actors out there, but I enjoyed watching her do her thing, and she looked like she had a good time. And I love an actor who looks like, this might not be my foray, but I'm having a good time. So she looks like she was having a good time. So I kind of enjoyed that, but I was like, do I want to watch season 2? I'm going to have to ask a few people to see how I feel about it.
You got to give it a shot. It's really, really great.
It is really good.
Because nothing is worse for me. When I watch something, I can't unwatch it. I'm one of those very few people who will watch a terrible season of something and then kick myself because I had to watch it to see if it'll get
Ashley
better.
Goes to Paris or whatever it is.
Yeah, Emily Goes to Paris, which I didn't think was that bad. I didn't think it was that great, but I didn't think it was that bad.
I think it was too cheesy. I mean, you said it was kind of like Sex and the City. So after you said that,
well,
I was like,
no,
makes
Darren
sense.
Star is the creator. Was the creator of Sex and the City, so he's
Well,
the
I think
creator.
it's the
of
same vibe.
Yeah,
in the same universe.
yeah. There's a lot of sex. She has a lot of sex.
Oh, does she really? I didn't.
She has a lot of sex.
Actually, no. She's too boring.
Yeah, she has a lot of sex. But I learned more about social media than I learned about anything else.
Yeah,
in the
you
South.
did. You were like, oh my god, you do this.
She really. I felt like she taught me. I felt like I was watching a lecture on how to be better at social media, with some drama thrown in.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of drama thrown and a lot of sex. This girl had a lot of sex. and by the way, I'm all for the ladies. Y'all need to enjoy sex too. I'm all for that. But let's get back to Elliot Page real quick. Because like I said, I just want, and by the way, speaking of transgender, don't y'all forget Laverne Cox, she got assaulted walking down the street with her friend, minding her own business. Somebody walked up to her and asked her if she was a man or a woman and assaulted her on the street.
Did they hit her?
I think so. Well, I'm sure there was some kind of something going on because she was assaulted. And so I don't know if they caught the guy. I don't know the full details, but she said she's okay, but it scared her a lot. And I have to remind the community that this is what transgender people go through. Even transgender people in the media. The media. Because
she's one of the most famous ones.
Because she's one of the most famous ones. If it's happening to her, imagine what is happening on the lower levels with everyday ordinary transgender people just trying to live their lives. So we gay people, and especially gay men, and I really have to say this to gay men, we really need to be an ally. An ally. I think it's very important that I say this. An ally.
It shouldn't even be said. It should be already done because it's part of the community. And
yes, but I think it needs to be repeated until it really gets into the head. I think younger gay men get it. I think gay men who I honestly think it's the older generation. I think, and speaking as one who is part of the older generation, I have to remind you, we grew up around transgender. We grew up in the bars around our transgender friends.
Yeah.
We grew up in the bars with them. We shared the bars with them. Because we were outcasts just as much as they were. So we share now. Like I said, I know that the history between gay men and transgender men can be tumultuous at best, and it was back then. And it's gotten a lot better. But I have also started to recognize the fact that as a gay man, my best thing is to be an ally. Right now, my transgendered men and women need to get out there and start taking care of themselves and start putting themselves out there and start protesting and doing all the stuff that they need to do. We just need to make sure that we let them do their thing, but still be supportive of them, because that's what they did it to us. We needed to do it to them.
Absolutely.
They did it through us when we were going through the AIDS epidemic. We need to remind ourselves that if our transgender friends were there for us when we were going through the AIDS epidemic. And we need to remind ourselves of this, especially older gay men. Need to remind yourself once again, without their help, we wouldn't be where we are now.
Absolutely.
Without their help, Stonewall wouldn't have happened. Without their help, gay rights wouldn't have happened. Without their help, marriage equality wouldn't have happened. Mm-hmm. We really need to make sure that we understand and put that out there. We need to support and be allies to our transgender community. So we're going to take one more break because I want to get into, and Angelo, why you got that look on your face? Are you all right?
Yeah, this is just really like, I was feeling what you were saying, and I completely agree.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so we're going to take one more break, and then, Angelo, it's all about you.
I'm here.
It's all. Oh, he might model some underwear for us. Well, you know, we'll when I get our Patreon account going, we're going to take some. But you're going to have to pledge at least $50 to see the photos.
All right.
You're going to have to pledge $50 if you want to see some photos of Angelo and some a cute jock. I don't.
You know, for the good of the page, you know,
for the good of the page, for the good of the podcast, you know. So we'll be right back. Everybody, don't forget Tubi's Woodworking. Look them up, tubieswood.com. Be right back. And we are back. And this is the part of the show where Angelo takes over, where Angelo gets to be the top in the show. So, Angelo, first of all, Angelo, let's get some basics out of the way. Let's if you like, let's let the audience know. Let's get a full name on that.
So my full name is Angelo Sebastian Ortiz Vela.
Oh, I like the Sebastian part. I like the Sebastian part.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, and we're 23.
Yes, 23.
Remember, single gals and guys out there. He is 23 years old.
I mean, I'm a Scorpio. If that's important,
I think that for some gays that might be important. I don't know which gays. I don't know which gays that might be important.
Which gays?
Mm-hmm. But I guess being a Scorpio. I mean, I'm a Sagittarius. We just go with the flow.
I think I'm a Pisces.
You think you're girl? Do you
What's
even
in between
know?
two of them? And then people tell me about Pisces. People tell me about Aquarius. I just tell people I'm a Pisces.
Okay. So here's the complicated terminology. If you are in between, that means that you are maybe a Pisces with an Aquarius rising or something else going on. I don't know what it is.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's so complicated, but we don't want to get into.
I'm here.
Yeah, we don't want to get into that because it's all about Angelo. Angelo, let me ask you now. Photography, is this your primary source of income? Is this a hobby? Is this what's going on with the?
So with photography, I actually, I guess to get back into how it started, I just always had an eye for just making sure, like whenever I took photos on like just my phone, like that things were like composed, visually appealing, and I would always just really enjoy getting compliments on my photos when I just wasn't doing anything in particular. And then that was like before college, and then once I got into college, I took an introduction to photography class, and I from there I then got into okay, I know that I enjoy, taking photographs, but I'm also really starting to get into drag through RuPaul's Drag Race, and my best friend in high school showed me RuPaul's Drag Race in the beginning of senior year, and so it was just a really nice transition into kind of who I am now.
How far back in RuPaul's Drag Race did we go?
So the first season that I saw was going to be season 6, and that was on YouTube. And it was at the time where copyright things were really, really high. And so in order for the actual episode to be posted on YouTube, you had to I guess really, really raise the pitch of the audio.
Yeah.
And then it was really wild just seeing that. And then all three, the first 3 episodes of season 6 were just all in one episode. It was crazy. actually. But I had to actually watch it a couple of times because for me, I actually didn't understand at the time because I grew up with a single mom and only child, and I went to a Catholic school for high school. So there really wasn't any like LGBT influence or like there wasn't anything that I had, like role models that I had. And I knew I was gay since I was like second grade, third grade.
I was 6.
Yeah.
The first time I saw a penis, I went, I like that. And that was it. That was it.
It was always like the cool boys in school. I was like, well, there's something about them. I just didn't know what it was. And then it wasn't like a sexual attraction, but it was like, I just know cool guys. I like that. And then, from there, it just, grew as got older. But going back into the Drag Race spectrum, season 6 was the first season, and I didn't know like why these men would put themselves out there in such like a feminine way. I didn't understand. I just couldn't comprehend. But my best friend, who I came out to, was the first person I came out to. Her name was Lauren. She was like, you just try to watch it, try to understand. And it took me a couple days to like just keep going back to watch it again. And I really, really am thankful for that because I finally understood, like watching through the confessionals and through seeing how they interact. Like, okay, this is just how people who are like who love themselves, who are confident with themselves. This is how they are. So I really credit that to helping me find myself.
That's my Bianca Del Toro season.
Yes.
I remember. I loved that season because this bitch could tell you off, but then tell you she loves you in the same breath. And I'm like, I love this bitch.
Yeah, she was really good.
She started now. When she first started out, now I thought that this bitch was going to be like, okay, we don't need another villain.
She really is though, but she's a nice villain.
But she's a nice villain because
Maleficent.
She was like, hey, if you need help packing, I'll help you pack.
Beat a queen.
And I'm like, this bitch don't have no filter. She just told this queen she don't have no goddamn filter. I love her.
And she's so relatable. Like if you're gay, you love her. If you're straight, you love her. Like she's just so, you just gravitate towards her humor.
It's close to, but it's like very George Lopez in drag.
I know. So I have to say that I kind of idolized her in that season because I had struggled with self-esteem issues for a long time, and to see her when I saw her out of drag and she would just talk and have conversations with people in the workroom and all this other stuff, she became a real person. And to see her as a real person, having to deal with all the drama around her, and this bitch knew how to handle drama.
She did.
And she was older than most of the queens, and she knew her stuff. And like I said, she probably one of the most self-confident queens I think I've ever seen on RuPaul.
Yeah.
She walked into the workroom knowing exactly who she was, and she didn't give a shit what anybody else said. And
that's
like
true.
I
She
said,
didn't have to modify herself.
she did not have to modify. She did not modify her tone. She did not modify the way she spoke to people, because she spoke to people all kinds of crazy sometimes. But she's what some people will say about me sometimes, because I sometimes talk all kinds of crazy too. But they're like, but we love you, and I'm like, how? I say some of the dumbest shit on the planet, and y'all still love me. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all some idiots. And they'll look me dead in the face, and go, but we still love you. So yes, Angelo, don't let this be about me. This is about you right now. Don't let this, because like I said, I'm a strong personality. I know that you got one over there too, girl. Come on.
So what's next? What's the next question? So I know that was kind of leading into how photography, and then how I got.
So college.
Yes.
Are we still in college? Or we?
This was in high school.
So that the watching Drag Race was in high school, and then from there I kind of like season 6 was my first season, but I watched it as season 7 was, I guess, ending, and that's how I got into like social media. I was recently going back through like who I followed on Twitter, and I think Bianca was the first drag queen who I followed on Twitter, and then from there, I saw like them, her, Bianca, Courtney, and Adore. Like the first photo I remember on Instagram seeing of drag queens was like them at like the season 7 like premiere party or something. I was like, oh, this is like such a diverse like trio, and it was just like that's just how
because it was the top 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, top 3, and I was just like, this is so.
That was a pretty diverse top 3.
Yeah, so like so good, so talented, and then from there I just started watching Drag Race like through like over the summer and like on weekends and going through season like 4, 5, 6. And it was really, really nice to be able to see like different seasons, different queens, different personalities, and help me, you know, not being able to have like, you know, go out to bars and stuff, being under 18, just having, you know, a sense of like what my gay community is. So that was really nice to be able to just see that on TV and have like, okay, this is what I can, you know, be. This is what I'm a part of.
So we were college. What are we still in college?
So once high school ended, I decided to, you know, just go to live at the dorms at University of Houston, and then from there, that was kind of like where I got my freedom. It's like I then took my first photography class, and that was going to be in first semester, and then like during that semester, we have to do a couple of projects. But during that time, I was also going to South Beach, which is going to be a club here in Houston that a lot of the Rue girls would go to on weekends.
Yes.
And they would like go there on like my first time going to South Beach was going to be over the summer. And I think I snuck out of the house, and this was before college, and I got either a bus or an Uber, and I got there at 9:00 because before 9 it was, I guess, free.
Yes.
And I waited there for 4 hours in order to see Bianca Del Rio perform.
Oh, wow.
For the Pride weekend, and that was like such a funny experience because that was my first time actually like being hit on at a gay bar, and it was just really wild and crazy. And then going to South Beach while I was in college, I met one of my first like local queens, and her name is Angelina, and
Angelina.
she kind of got me into like oh, there's like this all like local queens. I literally knew nothing about Houston queens at all.
That's how I was too.
And so it was like really, really nice to be able to transition from Drag Race into like the local Houston
queens.
scene. Yes, and so from there, I kind of became friends with her and was like, okay, I really, really like you. Like, from there, I kind of began to go to the Desi's Drag Race, which I think you know a little bit about.
Yes.
Desi Blake.
Yeah, Desi LeBlake. And once Angelina had she did like a season of Desi's for like what is it called? Like an all-star season or like a Divas edition. The first time I saw Blackberry was going to be during Angelina's Little Mermaid number, and then I cannot tell you how the room just, you know, as soon as Blackberry got on stage, the room just like lit up. There was such a different, I don't know, a different vibe, and it was just so amazing to see how everyone reacted to Blackberry. The reason why I bring Blackberry up is because she gave me my first opportunity, kind of like shooting queen for my photography class, and so once it happened, it was just like it literally just snowballed into like doing more things in the drag community and eventually becoming like a drag photographer.
So let's speaking of which, let's talk about that iconic photo that you took for Black History Month. Now Blackberry had explained that she had asked it was supposed to be more picture. It was supposed to be more queens of color in the picture.
Right.
She had basically she was scrambling to get people together, kind of thing. I might be getting it wrong.
Right. I mean, she gave people like over a month to notice, and it was interesting because I was there setting up, and I was like seeing like people were messaging her on Facebook saying like, hey, we can't come, or you know, like I can't come, I'm not getting in drag for a shoot, or I don't know, there's a lot of different responses and reasons, but I was just appreciative to be able to have the opportunity to shoot these amazing queens and be able to just show representation of Black Houston drag queens.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a really beautiful experience.
Who came up with the idea for this?
Blackberry and Chloe Crawford
Mm-hmm.
are the ones that organized the shoot,
Mm-hmm.
and they approached me, and I was like, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how it came to be.
Because it's like I said, it's you that photo. I mean, for 23, that looks like a photographer who had been a photographer for years, who had been doing that work for years. And I have to say, like I said, it is one of the most amazing photographs I've ever seen. And you really put, and I think which magazine was this for? Was this for?
It was for Outsmart.
Outsmart.
Once they had the idea and concept, they Blackberry and Chloe Crawford approached Outsmart, and they were featured as you know, a spread in there. And so it was just like that wasn't the reason why they did it, but it was just a whole.
It just happened.
Yeah, it just happened.
Yeah, because I honestly thought it might have been one of Outsmart's photographers who took it. So when I was told that you were the one who took the photo, and I'm like, does he work for Outsmart? He's like, no, he's just a friend of mine from who's in school for photography. And I'm like, this picture is you. Oh my God, this picture is amazing. It was the most amazing picture. It's still, you know what? If I told Blackberry if I could get a copy of that, it's art. I would love to hang it somewhere in my house just to look at, so I can look at it every day, because it's such an amazing. It's an amazing
print.
Yeah,
I would love to give you a print, because like hearing that, hearing just someone from outside the drag community just like express their feelings towards like something that I collaborated on and worked on, and it's just like it's such a great feeling to just be recognized.
So was this your first major work, so to speak, or had you done some other projects before this? Or
in regards to like a project that had like a huge like social like what's the word, like a huge social like implication.
Yes.
I think this is the first one that I would say like that has meant the most for me to do. But definitely I've been able to shoot a couple of Drag Race girls, and that's also like was like really huge with me. I was
done
able
the Boulet
to
Brothers as well.
Yeah.
you did the Boulet Brothers?
Yeah, I've.
Oh, you're gonna have to tell that story.
Oh,
you're gonna have to tell that story. Let me finish this story first, but you're gonna have to tell the Boulet Brothers story, because I love the Boulet Brothers.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, I think shooting this shoot was gonna be like one of the major things, and to be featured in Outsmart and have this huge spread, it was a huge thing that I'm very proud of. But I definitely have done shoots in the past, like shooting for Katya's tour when she came to Houston, did her meet and greet photography. Let's see what else. Shot for South Beach's meet and greet. Shot for a club called Scandalo. That's where I met the Boulet Brothers and shot their meet and greet. Like it's just amazing to be able to meet, such amazing.
So you've been doing this for quite some time, it seems.
Yeah, I would say I've been shooting consistently for about 3 years or so. Yeah, 3 years.
20 years old, and just girl. 20 years old, and you're shooting all these famous people, and you're doing all. I wanted to ask, how was it putting the shoot together, working with these girls when you had to pose them and to figure out the format and all this other stuff? Now you're there in the studio, you got all these girls here. You're like, okay, we need to make. Okay, so only these girls showed up, so I need to figure out how to make this work.
So definitely, it was definitely a collaboration, because I wanted, I know Chloe Crawford and Blackberry had their vision of how they wanted things to, I guess, look and position. But I also, wanted to, put my, what I saw was going to look great. So it was definitely like, okay, let's take a few test shots here and move things around. And it was definitely just an open communication on, making sure that they enjoyed what, I was doing. And also I got to okay, this needs to be this angle. These lights needs to be here and here and here. I also had, was able to be assisted by Barbacoa, which is another local queen, and she was helping with lights, and I was very, very appreciative that she was there, because it was a lot. Even though it was, just a small amount of queens, it was still a huge task, and so just very appreciative for like just being able to have assistance and help. It was really huge.
Let's get into the
Barbacoa's a pretty big persona here too. I met them once, but that's just about it.
Like Barbacoa and her partner Jay, like they're photographers and videographer here in Houston, and they do a lot of work with queens and also a lot of work like out
with weddings and stuff.
Yeah,
out of state weddings and stuff.
It's
People always call me Barbacoa in drag. Like, you're just taller. I'm like,
So, are you are you a full-time professional photographer, or do you have like a side gig that pays the bills, that kind of thing?
I would say so doing this drag photography, beauty photography, portrait photography, that's definitely something that I would consider it's going to be a side hobby, a side hustle. I definitely have a job currently that I do. I work for a call center, but photography is definitely something that I really, really enjoy. And it's been like, I know we were talking on the break how I'm just very much like, I love being a people pleaser. I just love having people just I love, making connections, being like really good friends. So I've always had to balance, since I've started photography, like my love of drag and my love of the queens, whether and also trying to have a successful business. Like it's very, very hard trying to like to have, friends and business. It's hard for me to separate it. And it's still something that I'm learning right now, but I definitely.
That is something difficult though. That it's hard to.
Yeah.
It's difficult for a lot of people in your position, and you have to understand that.
Because we're artists at the end of the day, and we want to make sure shit gets out there. But at the same time, it's just like, are we really about to stoop down low?
Yeah, because it's your name that people are going to look at when it comes to that photograph. It's not going to be BlackBerry or anybody else. It's going to be your name on it, and you want to make sure that your art that represents you,
absolutely,
as much as it represents the person that you're shooting as well. So, because that's very important as a business person, is that you have to be the focus. It's your business. You have to be the focus. You can live your client, as most people I've met who are interior designers or who do this kind of work here and there, have all said the same thing. It's one thing when we're friends, but it's another when I'm running a business.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when I'm running a business, I'm doing things in the best interest for you, but it's my name on the thing.
Yeah.
So
right.
Don't fuck with my money.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's definitely been something I have been learning and been trying to see, like, okay, like, should I be able to do it? Should I do this or this? Like, should I put this on my website? Like, how should I market this? Because I got told when I first started, like, you need to separate, if you want to do non-drag photography and drag photography, you got to separate them. You got to have different, like, names, different aliases. And like, for me, like, that's not what I like. I want to be Angelo, the beauty drag photographer, but I also enjoy doing like all types of photography. So it's something like we're definitely still learning, but I'm definitely getting to a place where I'm more comfortable and like still expanding.
Yeah.
And by the way, don't forget, it's Angelo, 23 and single, and a photographer. You might get some nice boudoir pics if you're nasty.
Love that.
Nice whole pics.
Just to put it out there. But you know what? I want to hear the Boulay Brothers story, because I'm like, how did this happen? How did this happen? Please tell me, because I'm like.
So when the Boulay Brothers came to Houston, this was going to be, I think, sometime in 2018. They did consistent meet and greets for the club of Scandalo. And Scandalo was like one of the first clubs in Houston to like consistently bring Dracula girls. So it was really, really amazing to be able to meet these performers and queens that like weren't necessarily like a RuPaul girl, but
Yeah.
they were doing like something that's different and alternative, but also like completely like entertaining. And when the Boulay Brothers came, I was asked, to do the meet and greet photos. I of course agreed, and they were just an amazing duo. And so they asked me. I've never told anyone this. I don't think when they came. And we did, the meet and greet, wrapped everything up. They actually asked like, oh, can we do some individual photos? And I was like, of course, yeah, sure. And so I did a couple of individual photos with them, and they have never been released. I've never posted them. And so I actually will be, they're edited. I just never posted them. So actually, we'll get them out.
Okay. Oh, all right. Wait a minute. How provocative are these photos?
Oh, they're stunning photos. They're nothing that is.
Look, the Boulay Brothers have no shame. So whatever they,
right.
They don't have no shame.
I mean,
so.
they were just stunning glamour shots. I mean, I would definitely, because this was brought up, I definitely will be releasing them soon. When would this podcast be?
Oh,
released?
well,
Thursday
every Thursday. Every Thursday.
Okay, perfect. So I will go ahead and post it because this year, I know with everything going on, I have not posted much on my photography Instagram. So I need to start posting more on there and start
What are you waiting for? These are Boulay Brothers. They need to be, people need to go, oh, he shot the Boulay Brothers? I need to talk to him. What you doing? I feel like we're doing are we doing like a class for you or something? Because Boulay Brothers should have already been. I would have posted that like 5 minutes ago. Put it on your.
I'm definitely going to be posting that. There's so many shots. I need to get better at social media posting. Like I love just interacting in person, but there's still a form of you got to promote yourself if you want to be booked, you want to be paid.
Yeah, exactly.
It all comes, and I definitely just still learning. And it's hard being a one person promotion, but I see this is your gig, you're doing this, and you're
but you're right, it's hard being a one promotion. It is. I understand completely. It is hard. Not don't worry, Charlotte puts in the work, but it's because I have to sometimes watch the Instagram, and I've been super terrible at it, and I have to get back into. That's why I was like today, I'm like in the kitchen, and I'm like, I need to take a picture of this cutting board because this is my sponsor here. So I have to really get back into but I have to have a day where I do nothing but social media. So I guess I'm picking Wednesdays now as a day where I do nothing but social media for the show. I mean, I have tons of pictures, and I'm like, how come I've not posted any of these pictures or some of this video? And I just recently started posting, and I'm like, well, we're getting a little bit more response. So yes, I understand what it's like to be one person kind of trying to do it all, and sometimes you have to ask for help. Oh my God. Sometimes I forget to ask for help sometimes, but yeah, you kind of Boulay Brothers, put that shit on your website.
And that'll be releasing. My website is literally so close to completion. It's going to be asofstudios.com. So that'll be releasing very, very soon. So if anyone's looking to get any kind of portrait photography, I can make anyone look great. So
he did the Boulay Brothers. Y'all, go for it. Ask him to be your photographer. He did the Boulay Brothers, y'all. Say that website again. Say it again.
Yes, asofphotography.com.
Spell it out.
ASOVphotography.com.
Okay.
You can also follow me on Instagram at asofphotography.com. And then the website is asofstudios.com.
There we go. Period. And like I said, once again, 23, single. I'm going to keep pushing. And shot the Boulay Brothers. Y'all, he shot the Boulay Brothers. Throw that. I'm sorry to say this, Angelo, because I'm going to have to say it. Throw all that penis his way, because yes, he shot the Boulay Brothers. Yeah, get you some.
Come get you some.
Angelo, you at this point in the game, you should have 5 or 6 men on the side, having a good time. Wow. You're 23. You're a professional. You're a professional photographer. You have shot some famous people. You should be having plenty of booty on the side. Get you some WAP as much as possible.
Wob.
Some WAB. I'm sorry. So let me make that quite clear. some wob,
Or
not some wop.
Doesn't matter. Whatever they want to call it.
Whatever they want to call it.
Whatever you're feeling.
You know how we Queens are. We'll call it whatever. If it'll make you feel better, we'll call it. We'll call it We'll call it a manhole. We'll call it whatever you want to. Whatever you want to call it. It's there, but you know what, Angelo? I have learned so much about you. I have learned a lot about your photography. I've learned a lot about who you are as a person, and it's been a pleasure. An absolute pleasure having you on the show because we've had a laugh. I've made him red a couple of times.
But it's been fun. I enjoyed this. This is my first podcast as promoting and just talking about myself. It's so fun.
I know, right? You know what? When I put the microphone in front of people, before people sit down to the microphone, they're all nervous. They don't know what they're going to say and everything else. And I'm like,
here's a shot of tequila.
Here's a shot of tequila. Sometimes here's a shot of tequila. Just as soon as the mic turns on, just be yourself. Have a good time. And I have not been disappointed since. Usually, the shyest person will sit there in front of that mic and just talk.
I think everyone that we've had so far has been pretty good, really good actually.
And like I said, out of all the voices that have been on, Angelo has one of the best podcasting radio voices I have ever heard. If you want a professional podcast, you come to me and we'll make it work.
Perfect.
We'll make it work. So, anything else you want to add, Angelo?
Let me see what else. So,
do you have any upcoming projects? That's what I wanted to ask. Anything coming up?
So I actually, with COVID going on, there is actually a lot of shows that are starting to come up again. So I was recently approached to do Being Great photography for some upcoming shows here in Houston. So I'll be doing those, and that's something new.
Which one is it?
It's going to be for Poppies. And they're going to start having Dragula girls and RuPaul girls coming.
Yes.
So in 2021, you'll be seeing me doing some meet and greet photos for there.
Period.
And then
I need to get in that. I haven't been to Poppies yet. I'm Hispanic. I can roll the punches there.
Y'all, I'm sorry.
Do a little Selena.
That's Selena. No, I'll do Yolanda.
I'm sorry. Y'all need to take me to these. I have not been to.
I've never been to Poppies either. It's where Guava Lamp used to be.
It's where Guava Lamp used to be. Have you been to Guava Lamp before?
I have been to Guava Lamp.
Yes. So it's Guava Lamp is no longer existing, but there's a new club, and it is a.
We all need to go. We need to go because I need to see what's going on because. I don't mean no harm. I know that we're trying to live in a different society now.
Wear your mask.
We're not trying to. No, I'm not.
Bleach.
No, we're not fixing to go into that. If we already so deep in COVID. If y'all don't know this shit, it's too bad. You're gonna get COVID and you're gonna die. But the thing is that, and like I said, I don't mean no harm about when I say this, but I do fancy my Hispanic brothers a little bit more than most other men. Now I still love all men, but my Hispanic men, I fancy a little bit more. So whenever I get an invitation to go to a bar that's
I haven't been
largely Hispanic.
Have you been to Poppies yet?
I have not. I have not been.
I am usually the first one at the door. So there we go.
Is like, y'all open yet?
Are y'all open yet? Can I come in? I'll just sit at the bar and wait. It's fine. I'll even help you set up the bar. I'm a bartender. I know how to do all this shit.
That's funny.
But yes, we should definitely make a night of it because I'm definitely down to go.
I think before we end, you know what? Tell me, summertime, COVID. How did we? Now I know we weren't working. Did we have time to plan to think about things that we wanted to do in the future as far as photography was concerned? Because you had a lot of time on your hands.
Definitely.
And
so this summer, I actually moved out of my mom's, and I got my own place.
Listen to that, single and has 23, a photographer and has his own place, y'all, and a car. That's husband material right there.
I can't cook that much, but I can put together a chicken breast and some rice.
You don't, honey. With all your qualifications, they're gonna be cooking for you. Don't worry about it. You don't worry about it. You just sit in the living room and wait for your dinner to be cooked.
So I got my own place, and then I converted the master bedroom into a studio, and so I was able to even with the COVID and the pandemic going on, I was able to have a couple of shoots, and I'm very thankful for the queens who came to me. I did the Millennial Dolls cast flyer, and I was like having 8 drag queens in an apartment at one time in full drag is something that is definitely something to be experienced and to be appreciated, but not to last forever. But like that was really fun.
Child, I've had drag queens walking up and down these up and down these halls, coming in this door, and my neighbors are like, "Joel must be having a show today."
That's me when I leave your house. When I get to your house out of drag, and I leave your house in drag.
They come in as men, but they walk out as women. What's going on in there?
Like me with all my lingerie.
And I'm sure that and trust me, there are a lot of men that walk in this house, so I'm sure I've gotten some looks from some neighbors.
And that's fine.
I would like to have some more women. We still have not had any women on this show.
Okay, we can get a real woman, like a real woman,
No.
cis woman. I'm talking in reference of like drag queens, woman of the night.
But we have not. We
could get. I don't think I know any cis women. I know trans women.
Yeah,
like
trans women are women. I'm okay with that.
Do I know any women? Like any trans women here? I don't even think. I just know gay people.
Oh, that won't.
I'm trying to think. I really don't. I know one, but she's not much of a talker.
So, what? A transgender woman not being much of a talker? Really?
Hey.
That's a joke, y'all. That's a joke. I don't want to. Please don't send me no letters. Y'all haven't. For those of y'all who are listening, please don't send any letters. It's a joke.
I mean, I know you're a fan of Roxanne Collins, right? And there's Lana Blake.
Lana Blake. Yeah, I just met her the other day.
Let's see who else. I mean, there's a bunch of wonderful trans women that are really active in the LGBT scene and nightlife. I mean, I'm sure they would love to come and join the podcast.
So if y'all listening out there, Roxanne, come see me. Come talk to me. Come talk to me. I think in
We've been having Shamu here. Everybody always talks highly of Shamu.
Oh, I love that. I saw Shamu on Rich Lux's documentary.
I saw the other day. I saw it the other day because you've been always talking about it, and I had to sit down and watch it.
And I was so surprised because they had so many. He had a couple of queens from RuPaul's Drag Race. He had. Yes, we need to wrap it up. I'm sorry. Somebody has to go to work. We've been talking so much. Oh Lord, I forgot. What time is it?
It's 7:50.
Oh Lord, you have to be at work. You can leave me with this young man. It's fine.
Okay, you
I'm not gonna hurt him much.
On that note, bye guys.
Well, Miss Charlotte has to get out of here. We're just gonna go ahead and wind it up. Angelo, thank you for being on the show.
Absolutely, it was a pleasure.
Okay. We'll talk about that on the next show, whether or not it was a pleasure or not.
I'll be listening.
And so we thank you for being on the show. Thank you for talking about your photography and all the stuff that you do in the community. I think it's great. And to be 23, single, young, has his own apartment, has his own car. Y'all better jump on this. I'm telling you, bro.
It definitely took a village. It really did.
If y'all need any more inquiries, we're gonna do some after show stuff. I'm gonna take some measurements. Let y'all know what's going on. That kind of stuff. So we will see y'all next time on next week's episode. So thank you, Angelo, for being on.
Of course. Yes, thank you. Thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate that.
Bye, Charlotte. Charlotte is off to work. She's Ripcord or Modern Company? Ripcord. She's off to work at Ripcord. So if y'all want to go see her at Ripcord. I know this is going to come out on Thursday, but still.
Next week.
Next week. Go see her next week, next Thursday. So you ready to go, Angelo?
I'm here for a good time, a long time, whichever you need.
Okay. Oh, stop talking to me like that, Angelo. I'm telling you right now, you need to stop talking to me like that. Anyway, let's end this show. All right. So we'll see y'all next time. Bye.